In this video, we will explain absolutely everything you need to know to travel to Casablanca, the most modern metropolis and the economic capital of Morocco. This is the definitive guide and the most complete video you will watch today about the city that mixes the grandeur of Islamic culture with a stunning French colonial, past the place where the largest mosque in Africa advances over the waters of the Atlantic Ocean, and where the charm of classic cinema still lives in the jazz nights. We will cover everything from the logistics of how to leave the largest airport in the country, taking the train straight to the center, how to avoid the scams of the small red taxis, and what is the secret to enjoying the waterfront like the locals. We will also tell you about the vital requirement of travel insurance for Africa, and where to taste the most famous honey and almond sweets in the country. So let us get started. Casablanca is a city of architectural contrasts and a fast pace. Unlike the chaotic and ancient Marrakech here, you find huge tree-lined avenues, historic Art Deco-style buildings, sophisticated commercial neighborhoods, and a constant sea breeze. It is the financial heart of the country, a destination that requires a more cosmopolitan look, and that houses unforgettable hidden treasures. Now let us move on to logistics and planning. What is the best time to visit Casablanca? Thanks to its location on the coast, Casablanca has a much milder climate than the desert cities. The best time is spring and autumn, especially the months of April, May, September, and October. In these months, the temperatures are delicious, perfect for walking along the seaside promenade and exploring the neighborhoods without melting. Summer from June to August is also a good time, unlike the rest of the country. The heat is not so extreme because the ocean wind cools the city. But the humidity is high, and the beaches get very crowded with locals on vacation. Winter from December to February is mild during the day, but very windy. It rains frequently, and the nights are cold, which takes away a bit of the shine of outdoor tours. And how many days to stay? Many people make the mistake of landing in Casablanca and fleeing immediately to other cities, missing its great masterpieces. To see the basics, enter the Grand Mosque and have dinner on the waterfront, 2 full days are enough. But to dive into the colonial architecture, visit the hidden palaces of the New Medina and enjoy the night without rushing. The ideal is 3 full days before continuing your trip. Now let us talk about transportation and how to get around. To arrive, you will land at the Mohammed V International Airport, which is the main gateway to the country. To leave the airport, the cheapest, fastest, and safest way is to take the train. The station is literally in the basement of the airport. Take the line to the Casaport or Casa Voyageur station depending on where your hotel is. The trip takes about 45 minutes in modern and comfortable trains. To get around the city, Casablanca is huge, and you will not be able to do everything on foot. The electric tram system is brand new, shiny, and cuts across the entire city. It is the best way to escape the traffic. For short distances, you will use the petit taxis, which are small red cars that run throughout the city. The absolute and non-negotiable golden rule is to demand that the driver turns on the meter as soon as you get in. If he says it is broken, get out of the car and take another one. Do not rent a car to stay inside Casablanca. The traffic is aggressive, confusing, and the horns do not stop for a second. Staying in a good region will define your comfort and your safety on the trip. The first and most luxurious option is the La Corniche region in the Anfa neighborhood. It is the grandiose promenade facing the sea. You stay in wonderful resorts just steps from the beach, the best clubs, and refined restaurants overlooking the ocean. The second option is the Gauthier neighborhood and the Marif region. They are the modern and chic neighborhoods of the city. The streets are tree-lined, full of designer stores, wonderful Parisian cafes, and art galleries. It is a very safe region to walk at night and has the best boutique hotels. The third option is the city center near the United Nations Square. It is the best logistics for those staying a short time, because you are close to the train stations, the electric tram lines, and in the middle of the incredible French colonial architecture. It is noisier, but extremely practical. We created this personalized map that explains exactly which is the best region to stay. Staying in La Corniche facing the sea or in the charming Gauthier neighborhood, you cannot go wrong. We will leave here on the screen code and in the video description the link to this exclusive map. We created them on the hotel site we always use, as it always has the best prices and reliable options. We will also leave links to the hotels we have already stayed at and approved. In all destinations, we always recommend one that is very cheap and super well located for those who want to save money, and another that is a little better in the same location, but a little more expensive with more comfort. These are great options tested by us. An important tip to save on accommodation is the advanced strategy. Casablanca is the business center of the country and hosts international events all year round, not just leisure tourism. Hotels with European comfort standards sell out fast. That is why we really like using this site we indicated. In addition to having the lowest prices, it has free cancellation with almost all hotels. You can book as soon as possible to guarantee a much lower price, and if you need to cancel later due to any change of plans, it is super easy and at no cost. And remembering that in this link below, we always organize everything you need to set up your entire trip for the lowest price on a single page, the sites we use to build our trips, and that have everything much cheaper, such as the international virtual cell phone chip, to have fast internet on the street, travel insurance with discount, which is fundamental in Africa, tickets for guided tours, good and cheap hotels we have already stayed at, and the global account to carry your money, saving a lot on fees. Save this page in your favorites. Now let us get to the main attractions with details you cannot miss. Attraction number 1, and the great jewel of Morocco, is the Hassan II Mosque. It is simply one of the largest mosques on the planet. Its minaret, measuring 210 meters high, is the tallest in Africa. The construction is an engineering miracle built with foundations over the waters of the Atlantic Ocean. Unlike the vast majority of mosques in the country, this one allows the entry of non-Muslims. Take the official guided tour. Inside, you will be amazed by the carved wooden ceiling that weighs tons and can open electronically, the illuminated glass floor, and the monumental chandeliers. It is breathtaking. Attraction number 2 is the Habous Quarter, the new Medina. Built by the French in the 1930s to solve housing problems, this region was designed to look like an old Moroccan Medina, but with wide streets, clean squares, and a lot of organization. Walk through the stone arches to buy luxury crafts very well made, typical clothes and fine rugs, all in an infinitely calmer and better-smelling environment than the chaotic markets of other cities. Attraction number 3 is La Corniche of Ain Diab. It is the seaside promenade of Casablanca, which imitates the famous waterfront of Rio de Janeiro. It is a long stretch, lined with palm trees where locals go to walk in the late afternoon. The region is full of elegant beach clubs that have large, saltwater pools, seafood restaurants with panoramic terraces, and sandy beaches where Moroccans play soccer. The sunset here, watching the sun disappear into the ocean, is cinematic. Attraction number 4 is Mohammed V Square. It is the great administrative center of the city. The square is immense, full of spectacular water fountains and thousands of pigeons. The great highlight here is turning around the square to admire the public buildings that mix the classic French style with Moorish and Islamic art, with white facades, arches, and incredible tiles like the post office building and the Court of Justice. Attraction number 5 is the Mahkama du Pacha. It is located inside the Habous neighborhood. It is a government administrative building that looks like a simple fort on the outside, but inside is a palace that rivals the great palaces of Marrakech. You walk through dozens of internal courtyards with fountains, stucco carved on the walls, in details so perfect they look like lace and painted woods. Because it is a government building, you cannot simply enter alone. You need to hire a local guide at the door to take the tour, but it is worth every penny. Attraction number 6 is the Old Medina of Casablanca. It is attached to the city port. It is not grandiose and famous like the one in Fez, but it is very authentic and without tourist filters. It is a tight labyrinth of white houses where residents buy their vegetables, bread, and daily clothes. Walking here carefully is seeing the real Morocco, with its narrow alleys and the strong smell of cumin and fresh bread baking in community ovens. An important tip that will save you time and money is to buy tickets and book guided city tours in advance online. Having a private local guide to explain the architecture and take you to the secret spots of the Habous neighborhood completely changes the level of the trip. We will leave in the screen code and in the description the link to the site where we always buy tickets and tours for the lowest price and in a very easy and safe way. Now let us move on to gastronomy. Casablanca shines on two fronts in cuisine, classic Moroccan traditions, and fresh seafood taken straight from the ocean. For the main dish, try a fish tagine. Unlike the interior that uses lamb, the coast makes this stew in the clay pot with very fresh white fish, steaks, tomato sauce perfumed with saffron, bell peppers, olives, and preserved lemon. It is light and absurdly tasty. The number 1 and mandatory gastronomic attraction of the city is not a restaurant, but Pâtisserie Benis Habous, a legendary bakery and pastry shop hidden in an alley in the Habous neighborhood. The lines at the door are daily. Inside, you will buy a box full of fine traditional sweets in the shape of a gazelle horn made with pure almond paste, honey sesame, and orange blossom water. It is the best sweet in Morocco. In the Corniche region, the fish markets allow you to choose fresh fish or squid on the ice-covered counter, and they grill it right away for you to eat at the outdoor tables. Quick and in-depth shopping tips. The Habous neighborhood is the paradise for high-quality shopping without the huge stress of the old Medinas. The stores sell wonderful polished copper pieces, ceramics, and the traditional pointy leather slippers with impeccable embroidery. Casablanca is home to the Morocco Mall, which is at the end of the waterfront. It is one of the largest and most modern shopping centers in all of Africa. The building has futuristic architecture, luxurious global designer stores, and even a gigantic 3-story cylindrical aquarium with a panoramic elevator inside it. It is a perfect place to escape the midday heat. Buy the true natural black soap in a jar used for deep skin cleansing in traditional baths, found in markets and pharmacies. Remember that in Moroccan street markets, negotiation and polite haggling are mandatory rules always offer much less than half of the initial price. What to do at night? Nightlife in Casablanca is very sophisticated. The most sought-after tourist program is reserving a table for dinner at the famous Rick's Cafe. It was created by an American diplomat to be an absolutely exact replica of the piano bar from the famous Casablanca movie. The environment has low-lighting costumed waiters, sophisticated food, and a pianist playing the songs from the movie. Reservations must be made weeks in advance. Aside from the charm of the cinema, the real excitement happens in the nightclubs, rooftop bars, and luxurious clubs facing the sea in the La Corniche region, which gather the young elite of the city in parties that go until dawn, washed down with good wines and cocktails. And if you are traveling with kids, Casablanca is great for families due to its proximity to the beach. The Morocco Mall saves any hot afternoon with the huge aquarium, arcade areas, and cinema. Walking through the square of the giant mosque is a safe space where children can run and play with locals in the late afternoon. The Abe waterfront has public playgrounds on the sand, and the private pools of the beach clubs are excellent for little ones to swim with total safety away from the strong sea waves. Mandatory documentation for international tourists and safety. Safety Casablanca is a vibrant, busy, and safe city to walk during the day, in tourist areas and in neighborhoods like Gauthier and La Corniche at night. The biggest warning is the crazy traffic when crossing the street. Pay close attention. In busy places like the center, take the standard big city precaution with pickpockets and keep cell phones in your front pocket. Beware of smart taxi drivers who refuse to turn on the meter. Do not fall for it. Casablanca is the most liberal city in Morocco. Residents dress more westernized, but common sense in clothing is still recommended, covering shoulders and knees on the streets to avoid attracting unnecessary attention. Visa. Most Western tourists do not need a visa to enter Morocco for tourist stays of up to 90 days, simply needing a passport valid for at least 6 months. Travel insurance. It is very risky to travel to North Africa without international travel insurance. The very different climate, water, and spices usually cause severe food poisoning and trips to the hospital emergency room. The public system there suffers from overcrowding, and international standard private clinics charge thousands of dollars per day or medical consultations for foreign tourists without insurance. We never travel without it, and in the link in the description there is the comparator we always use to find the best coverage for half the price. And to combine your trip, Casablanca has the best railway logistics in the country. From the modern train stations in the city, you can take the spectacular Moroccan bullet train called Al Barak. It is hyper-modern, cuts through the fields at more than 300 kilometers per hour, and takes you to see Tangier, the fascinating white city facing the Strait of Gibraltar in Europe, in just 2 hours. If you prefer to go south in a little over 2.5 hours on a comfortable train, you disembark straight into the magical and enchanting chaos of Marrakesh. And if you want to know the political capital of Morocco, the clean and beautiful Rabat is only 45 minutes away by fast train, making it the perfect full-day trip, leaving Casablanca to see the Royal Palace and the huge Hassan Tower. If you liked this complete and deep guide about Casablanca, like the video and subscribe to our channel to travel more and better around the world. Thank you very much and have a safe trip.